haven't watched that video, just pause this video and have a glance. Rock cycle is a group of changes. Igneous rock can change into sedimentary rock or metamorphic rock. They are formed when magma cools and makes crystals. Igneous rocks can be formed above or below the ground. When magma pours out on Earth's surface, it is called the lava. Yes, the same liquid rock matter that you see coming out of volcanoes. On Earth's surface, wind and water can break rock into pieces. They can also carry rock pieces to another place. Usually, the rock pieces are called as sediments. These form layers of sediments, and after a long time, these get cemented together to make sedimentary rock. In this way, igneous rock can become sedimentary rocks. All rocks can be heated, but where does this heat come from? Inside the earth, there is heat from pressure and friction. So, what does the heat do to the rock? It bakes them, meaning doesn't melt it from crystals, but it forms crystals. Because of this, rock gets altered, making them metamorphic rock. Remember that a caterpillar changes to become a butterfly in a similar way. Metamorphosis can occur in rock when they are located and heated to 300 to 700 degrees Celsius. Rock cycle continues and never stops. Having understood this, we can easily classify the soil as residual and transported soil. Transported soil are the soil that is transported by water or air from the disintegrated rock and deposited to faraway place, which is generally unconsolidated. In soil mechanics, mostly sediments or transported soils are studied. On the other hand, residual soils, which is left at the disintegrated site, is known as residual, which is generally occurs if the rate of disintegration is faster than the rate of transportation. Let's quickly understand the process of weathering. Physical weathering takes place due to change in temperature, running water, roots of trees which disintegrates the rocks, and generally cohesionless soil is formed, such as sand, gravel, cobble and boulder. Chemical weathering takes place due to oxidation, hydration, carbonation and leaching of rocks and produces cohesive soil like clay. Shear strength of cohesive soil is dependent on intermolecular bonds like cohesion and angle of internal friction. In biological weathering, we have the action of plants and animals, where in plants, seeds may fall into cracks in rocks where shelter and moisture help them grow. As they grow, the roots tends to apply pressure on the rocks and rocks develop cracks. The rock eventually breaks up into lots of different pieces. On the other hand, burrowing animals such as rabbit, earthworms can help to break down rocks. Hope you understood the process of physical, chemical and biological weathering and origin of soil. Let's start today's lecture 2 on soil classification. If someone describes a soil as Madras soil, to those who are not familiar with Madras region, the description tells very little about the soil other than its location. Similarly, a black soil is black in color and nothing can be understood or inferred about its other characteristics. People also identify soil by some local terminologies and description. Description of soil by place, color or some local terminology doesn't help to establish communication between engineers. It does not tell a person of the possible characteristics and behavior of soil, the suitability or otherwise of its for a particular purpose or its constituents, etc. Soil classification is an attempt to overcome the defects or arbitrary description of the soil. Soil classification helps to classify the soil, identify the suitability of soil for various purposes. It establishes some standard terminologies that we shall see now before actually going into the classification. G stands for gravel, S stands for sand, M stands for silt and C stands for clay, O stands for organic soil and PT stands for the peat. Soil can be classified as coarse grained soil and fine grained soil. How to differentiate these both is that the coarse grained soil can be classified as well graded soil given by the symbol W or poorly graded soil given by the symbol P, whereas the fine graded soil are generally classified based on their low plasticity or intermediate plasticity or high plasticity, where low plasticity is given by the symbol L and high plasticity is given by the symbol H. Generally, there are four types of classification. First is the unified classification system, that is the UCS. Second is the Indian Standard Classification, and the next one is the Highway Research Board classification, which is also known as the Public Road Administration classification, and also the textural classification. We shall see each one in detail in the upcoming videos. Next, we have the types of soil based on the particular particle size, and the image shows the name of the soil and the particle size. Generally, clay has a particle size less than 2 micron. From 2 micron to 75 micron it is silt, 75 to 425 it is fine sand, 425 to 2 it is medium sand, 2 mm to 4.75 mm it is coarse sand. And we can see the sand and gravel are distinguished by 4.75 mm sieve, whereas the fine grained and coarse grained are differentiated using the 75 micron sieve. And fine gravel ranges from 4.75 to 20 mm, coarse gravel from 20 to 80, cobble from 80 to 300, and boulder greater than 300. We can also see this is the IS classification, and we can see a wider classification in this scale. This is very important in exam point of view, and they are generally questioned using sums. We shall also continue seeing some dual symbols and also symbols for two types of soil clubbed together, such as clayey gravel, clayey sand, silty sand, or low compressible clay, intermediate compressible clay, highly compressible clay, and low compressible silt, intermediate compressible silt, highly compressible silt. As you can see, generally, though it is named as GC, C is given named first. For example, clayey gravel is written as GC, where more amount of gravel is present and lesser amount of clay is present. Hope you get it. The next is that we have to know the difference between well graded, poorly graded and gap graded to classify the coarse grained soil, as we have seen earlier. What is well graded soil? This soil is identified when done sieve analysis and a graph is drawn between percentage finer and particle diameter in a log scale. When the range is from a wide range, it is said to be well graded, and when the range is narrowed down, it is said to be poorly graded. Whereas gap graded is one where certain particle diameters are gone missing. Further, the soil using these symbols are GW meaning well graded gravel, GP meaning poorly graded gravel, SW well graded sand, SP poorly graded sand. Apart from graph, we can also identify using certain coefficient named as uniformity coefficient Cu and coefficient of curvature Cc. These are obtained by certain formulas which we shall see now. Low compressible clay generally has a liquid limit less than 35%. The range from 35 to 50 is intermediate compressible clay, whereas greater than 50 it is generally highly compressible. And also this is important in the exam point of view. Further, let's see the plasticity chart. Plasticity chart helps us identify low, intermediate and compressible clay or silt or organic soils. Friends, Keenly listen here because the drawing the chart is very important as this will not be given in the exam. The chart is drawn between plasticity index IP, which is the difference between the liquid limit and the plastic limit, and the liquid limit value. Where the liquid limit, you can see the scale extends beyond 100% also. And just imagine this scale to be 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and so on. So the graph is drawn with the starting point of 20 and the next point is kept at 35, that is 15 on the horizontal scale to 10 on the vertical scale. So when you draw such a triangle and extend it beyond, you will be able to get this A line. And for the further division of the liquid limit, 35 and less are generally low compressible and 35 to 50 is intermediate compressibility and greater than 50 it is highly compressible. So here CH stands for highly compressible clay. Ci stands for intermediate compressible clay and Cl stands for low compressible clay. So having drawn this, we can find the equation of this line as 0.73 into WL minus 20%. Once given in the question, we can also find IP using the data given in the question and locate IP either below A line or above A line. When the value is below A line, it is generally silt, and when it is above A line, it is said to be clay. And also we can see that from 4% to 7% of IP, it is a mixture of Cl and Ml. Hope you understood the plasticity chart, friends. Next, let's see the formula for Cu and Cc for classification as well graded and poorly graded. Here you can see the effective size D10 and we can also see D60, D30 and such numbers are nothing but the particle diameter in the particle size distribution curve corresponding to the 10% finer. If it's D60, it is corresponding to the 60% finer. So 60% finer, whatever is the particle size, you write it on the numerator, and 10% finer, what is the particle dia, you write it as D10. So getting the ratio of D60 to D10, you get the value of Cu, whereas D30 squared by D60 into D10 gives the value of Cc. Note that Cu and Cc can be used to differentiate well graded or poorly graded. For sand, it's generally greater than 6, the Cu value, and for gravel, it is generally greater than 4. If it is less than those numbers, then they are poorly graded. Whereas the Cc value generally lies between 1 to 3 for well graded soil. Continuing with the next, we can also classify the soil as based on liquid limit greater than 50 and liquid limit less than 50, as we have seen earlier, the fine grains. Further, we can divide these using the plasticity chart that below A line it's inorganic or the silt low compressible ones, and above A line it is the clay. And also for greater than 50%, we have seen that it is highly compressible and given the symbol CH if it's above A line, and below A line it is OH or MH. And also we have the classification for the percentage fines that are less than or equal to 50%. Friends, we have noted that the particles that pass through 4.75 mm sieve is less than 50%. That is, the particle retained on 4.75 mm sieve is greater than 50%, then it is said to be coarse grain soil. After obtained the coarse grain soil, we have to see whether it's gravelly soils or sandy soils. Based on that, we can see that if it is 5 to 12% fines, it means that it has dual symbol such as GWGM. Whereas percentage fines is less than 5%, it is said to be well graded gravel or poorly graded gravel. Whereas Greater than 12 percentage, it is above A line, it is well graded nor silt, or it is above A line, it is clayey gravel. Hope you understand this. I would like to repeat it, where 5 to 12 percentage always you have a dual symbol, whereas less than 5 or greater than 12 you do not have a dual symbol. Less than 5 percentage, it is generally just well graded or poorly graded, whereas greater than 12 percentage finds we use the plasticity chart to determine whether it's above A line or below A line. Similar one lies for the sandy soil as well, where less than 5 percentage it is well graded sand or poorly graded sand, and greater than 12 percentage it is generally silty sand or clayey sand, and dual symbol is given for fines from 5 to 12 percentage. Hope this video was useful, friends. Meet you soon with another lecture on clay minerals. Thank you.